I'm a 17-year-old female in high school, a senior, and I have one of the most toxic teachers ever, Miss Helga. Well, I try to go to the principal about her behavior. I try to go to my parents about her behavior, and nobody wants to listen to me. So when she decides to basically keep bullying me in front of everyone, I want revenge. I set up a spy camera in the back of her classroom, and I capture every single detail of what she's been up to, and what I reveal to the principal will have you shaking in your boots. You won't believe what I've captured on camera.
It all began in my senior year of high school. Chemistry was never my strong suit, and I dreaded every single class. But what made it even worse was my chemistry teacher. She was a Karen. We called her Helga. She was mean to all of us, honestly, but for some inexplicable reason, she seemed to hate me in particular. I still have no idea why. I was never one to stand out or cause trouble, and I was the typical B, C grade student who always hid in the back of the classroom, never once even stepping a toe out of line. No detention, no suspensions, just a quiet kid trying to get through the day. But Helga, oh Helga, her eyes would gleam with malicious pleasure whenever she'd call on me, knowing that science was not my best subject, and when I'd falter or give a wrong answer, she would belittle me in front of the entire class. And I was not the only one. I mean, the way she treated some of the other students was heartless, to say the least. I tried to talk to the school administrators, but Helga was their golden teacher. Respected, honored, and seen as almost infallible. Whenever they'd send someone to observe the class, she would become a completely different person. Respectful, kind, and seemingly devoted to our education, but the moment they were gone, the facade would drop, and she would just return to her old cruel ways. I decided to take matters into my own hands, and one day, I hid my phone and started recording her nasty behaviors. Of course, she caught me, snatched my phone out of my hands, and she wrote me up for detention. My first detention ever. And all because I was trying to expose the truth. So, the next day, as I sat in detention, I felt a whirlwind of emotions. I'm talking anger, frustration, despair, you name it. Helga had won. Again! And there was nothing I could do about it. Even some of my classmates seemed to turn on me, telling me that I should have just kept my head down and endured her abuse like everybody else. Well, I knew I could not let her win. This was not just about me anymore. It was about all the students who were suffering under her tyranny. I had to do something. Anything, just to stop her. I started talking to some of the other students, collecting their experiences and stories about Helga's behavior. The more I heard, the more I realized that something had to be done. The administrators may have ignored me before, but they can't ignore us all, right? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So today's story has 4 updates, and I'll tell you guys right now, it's about to get wild. Oh, Helga, yeah, she might be seen as a great teacher in the eyes of the principal and other teachers, but she's about to make a crucial mistake. And that mistake was underestimating OP, because OP is about to hit her with a whirlwind. Guys, update number 1's approaching us. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for daily revenge stories, and let's see what's going on with update number 1, 2 months later. It's been 2 months since my last post, and I wish I could say things have improved, but they have not. Helga's conniving behavior continues, and my struggles in chemistry class have only intensified. I tried talking to my parents about it, but they seemed to think I was just being overdramatic. And I quote you this. Teachers, they can be tough, honey. That's what they said. Maybe she's just trying to push you to do better. I knew they were wrong, but what could I do? I even approached other students to gather perspectives and support, hoping to present a united front to the school administration, but most of them seemed indifferent. They would say things like, "Calm down, it's our last year of high school, just put up with her, move on with your life." Some even told me to just deal with it, as if enduring Helga's cruelty was some sort of rite of passage. The trouble was not just in my head. I could feel Helga grading me more harshly, scrutinizing my work with malicious gleam in her eyes. I was struggling to pass the class, and I knew that her attitude was the primary reason. Then came the day that broke me. We were reviewing the properties of different chemical compounds when Helga's eyes fell upon me. That familiar smirk appeared on her face, and she said, "Hey, OP, why don't you explain to the class how hydrogen bonds work?" I felt my stomach drop a bit. I knew this concept, but under her gaze, I just fumbled my words, stumbling through an incomplete explanation. Helga's laughter rang through the classroom, and she literally had the nerve to say this. "Really? OP, that's the best you can do. Maybe if you paid attention instead of whining about how, quote, hard my class is, you might actually learn something." The room was filled with stifled giggles as my face turned a bright red, and I just thought maybe. She cut me off. "Helga, no. You don't think, OP, that's the problem. Perhaps if you put half as much effort into studying as you do complaining, you would not be failing this class." Her words stung like a bee, and the laughter of my classmates felt like a slap in my face. I was embarrassed. I knew that I had to do something, and as the class continued, my eyes filled with rage, and my mind began to churn. Revenge. The thought was sudden and intense, and Helga had pushed me too far. It was time to push back. I didn't know how or when, but I knew that I could not let her win. I had to do something, anything, to make her see that she could not treat people this way, and the wheels were in motion, and there's no turning back now. Edit. Hey guys, a quick edit before another update. I want to thank you for the messages and supports of encouragement in the comments. The path ahead, it's uncertain, and I'm still working out what to do next for some sort of revenge, but I promise to keep you updated, so please, stay tuned. Update. 2 agonizing months of enduring Helga's cruel behavior later. Well, I knew I could not take it anymore. I was tired, angry, and desperate for a solution, and then an idea hit me. I would catch Helga in the act and gather irrefutable evidence of her nasty ways, and this time I won't be caught. Days after being publicly humiliated in class, I ordered a hidden spy camera from Amazon. The plan was simple but daring, and I would stage the camera on a bookshelf in the classroom, carefully concealed amongst the clutter. Twice a week, I'd retrieve the footage from the SD card and recharge the camera, all while Helga remained blissfully unaware. As the weeks rolled by, the camera, it captured everything. Helga's sneers, her vicious put-downs, her utter disdain for me and other students, it was all there, recorded for posterity. The more I saw, the more resolve grew, and I thought, this has to end. I first showed the footage to my parents, who were absolutely horrified, and their guilt was palpable. Their disbelief were quickly turning into anger. They believed me finally, and my mother in particular was livid. She immediately called the school, with her voice shaking with fury, demanding a meeting with the principal and the school district. So, the next morning we walked into the school office with my heart pounding. Helga was there, seated beside the principal, and her face was a mask of confident arrogance, but the confidence would soon crumble. As the footage played, the room fell into a stunned silence, and you could see it. Helga's face turned ashen, her mouth opening and closing as if words, were abandoning her. The principal's expression was one of pure disgust. My mother's voice broke the silence, sharp and filled with rage, and she said, "How dare you treat my son like this?" She screamed at the top of her lungs to Helga. "You're supposed to be an educator, a role model, and this is how you behave?" Helga stammered with her voice trembling. I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to what?" My mother cut her off with her voice dripping with scorn. "You did this deliberately, day after day. You targeted my son and you tormented him. You should be ashamed of yourself, and here it is, right on camera." The principal's voice was calm, but it was firm. He was very apologetic towards us and says, "Helga, this behavior is inexcusable and has no place in our institution. You don't represent us, you're fired." Helga's tears flowed freely now, but I felt no sympathy. The principal leads us out of the office and assures us that he will deal with this. Edit. This has been a long and painful journey, but justice? That's been served. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I have one final update. Let me know in the comment section if you guys thought Helga would actually get fired. But first, let's go ahead and jump into this update, and then we'll check out some comments. Update number 3, final update of the story. The next week was like a stepping into a parallel universe. I walked into the chemistry classroom with my heart pounding in anticipation, and there it was. Helga's desk. Empty, untouched, clutter-free, as if waiting for a ghost to appear. We were told we would have a temporary substitute teacher until a replacement was found. The relief was immediate and profound, but that was just the beginning. The story had spread like absolute wildfire throughout the school, and reactions were divided, and most of the classmates saw me as a saint who had taken down the notorious, crappy chemistry teacher with a strike of revenge. They praised me in the hallways. They literally clapped for me and patted me on the back, telling me how they wished that they had the courage to do what I've done. It felt surreal, like I had become some sort of legend in my own right. But then there were others. It was more of a smaller group of students disagreed with what I've done. They thought I was evil, treacherous even, for spying on Helga with a camera. To record Helga without her consent and permission, and just to get her fired from her career. I overheard them talking about me, and, well, hushed tones, and their eyes darting towards me with a mixture of disdain and fear. I was taken back, honestly. How could they not see the monster Helga had been? How could they fault me for taking action? I had done justice for the school. I had saved countless students from torment. Did they not understand? One day, I actually confronted one of them in the group. It was a girl named Emily, who seemed particularly vocal about her disapproval. "Why are you upset with me?" I asked. My voice tinged with frustration, and I say, "Didn't you see how she treated us? She was a jerk, and she deserved everything she got." Emily's eyes widened, and she took a deep breath and said, I know. She was horrible, but what you did was extreme. You got her fired. You ruined her life. Wasn't there another way?" Well, her words did sting, but it also made me pause for a second and question myself. Had I gone too far? Had I become the villain in my quest for justice? I just knew in my heart that Helga's behavior was absolutely inexcusable, but had I lost part of myself in the process? The days turned into weeks, and the school eventually found a new chemistry teacher. He was kind, understanding, and everything Helga was not. I found myself thriving in the class, with my grades improving and a newfound love for science emerging. But the shadow of what I had done lingered, casting a pall over my triumph. I was hailed as a hero by many, yes, but vilified by few, and left to grapple with the complexity of right and wrong. In the end, I knew I had done the right thing. Helga's behavior was toxic, abusive, and had no place in a learning environment. I mean, come on. I had stopped her from hurting others, from poisoning young minds with her venomous words. But guys, let me know what you think. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So I do want to check out a couple comments. I tried to find a lot of the comments from the original post and the updates that were very, very, well, got a lot of attention. They have different opinions, and some people might not agree with some of these comments, and some people might agree with it. So let's just jump into comment number 1, and let me know in the comment section down below which of these comments you agree with the most. Comment number 1 says, "Wow, OP, I can't believe what you went through. I mean, Helga sounds like a nightmare, and she actually reminds me of one of my old teachers, and no one in our class had the courage to stand up to her like you did to Helga. And what you had to do, I mean, you did it. But anyways, keep your head up and never let anyone treat you like that again. In my eyes, you are a hero." Comment number 2. "I understand that Helga was terrible, but recording her without consent, I mean, yeah, I have to agree, that's a serious breach of privacy. You could have found another way to expose her. Everyone clearly sucks here in this situation. I mean, I don't see how you could say anything else than everyone sucks here. There had to be a more ethical way to handle this." Anyways, everyone sucks here, but OP, you're borderline the a-hole. Comment number 3. "As a programmer and a lover of technology, the way you use that spy camera from Amazon, that's pretty innovative. But the moral dilemma is really complicated. I'm glad Helga's gone, don't get me wrong, but the path you took, it makes me a bit uneasy. Because what if this was a different situation and you just get spied on like that? I mean, it's just kind of weird, the world that we live in today. But anyways, not the a-hole." Comment number 4. "OP, as a teacher myself, I'm appalled by Helga's behavior, and I wish I could have seen that footage. Teachers should inspire and guide, not belittle and demean. What you did was a brave act. I'm glad you stood up for yourself and your fellow students. Your courage is commendable. In my opinion, absolutely not the a-hole, and I don't care what anyone else says. It's pretty obvious." Comment number 5. Final comment before Mr. Reddito's opinion. "I'm torn on this one. Helga's behavior was inexcusable, but getting her fired seems a bit harsh. I mean, she probably had a family. Maybe she was going through something we don't even know about. I'm not sure, well, this is going to excuse her actions though, but I can't fully support yours either. This situation is a mess, but I'm glad it's over because it seems like Helga was out of line. Anyways, everyone sucks here."
Okay, so in my opinion, I'm going to have to go with comment number 1, and the reason I picked comment number 1 is because most of the other commenters are saying everyone sucks here, but I don't really think so. I mean, OP was getting bullied by her teacher, somebody that's supposed to be there for the students, and if this was any other situation, I would say yeah. Recording somebody like that is not a very good thing to do unless they were being abused or something that needs to get some sort of evidence. But we're talking about a school teacher here. So exposing the way she was treating the students cannot be a bad thing. I'm glad that OP decides to stand up for herself. But let me know in the comment section down below if you guys are kind of siding with another commenter, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let me know, do you think everyone sucks here? What exactly would you do? If you were in OP's position and the principal, your parents, the students, no one's listening. Nobody wants to do anything about it. My name's Mr. Reddito. This is a newer Mr. Reddito channel called Mr. Reddito's Revenge. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well for daily videos of revenge stories. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and just remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya!